Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Joe Valdez. I'm going to do a little tutorial on a pork roast, okay? And I have some potatoes and some Anaheim peppers that are going to go in with it too. First off, I'm going to truss this pork roast with some butcher's twine. And what that does is it creates an even way for this pork roast to cook, okay? I'm going to make it even on all sides. So that way one part of the pork roast isn't dried out and the other part is still kind of raw or whatever the case may be. So I just like to trust all of the pork roasts that are going straight into the oven. You know, talking about quarantine cooking, I just want to reiterate that this pork roast didn't cost me much. The potatoes are somewhat left over, and the Anaheim peppers were maybe another $2 or $3. And this is easily going to be a meal for 4, maybe 5 people. So let's get started. All right, guys. So I've got our butcher's twine here. I have some slack hanging up here. So basically, I'm just going to truss this. We're going to season this pork roast and then get it in with these bed of veggies. Before we get started, though, these potatoes, I've already have them baked off, okay, just with oil and salt. All right, so I'm just going to oil them a little bit in here. And I have some fresh Anaheim peppers that I kind of chopped up big. These are going in with the roast for about an hour and a half, okay? Sometimes 2 hours, depending on how big your roast is. So you kind of want to keep the potatoes and the peppers somewhat big, okay? Because they are going to shrink a lot. They're going to lose a lot of water. So we just add some oil, a little bit of salt, maybe mix them up. Making sure that they're all fully coated with oil and salt. Then I'm going to make a little well for this pork roast after we season it. Okay, and the pork roast is going to go right there. And all these juices from the pork roast are going to incorporate with these potatoes and peppers. So I'm just going to rinse my hands really quick. We'll get started on trussing this pork roast. Okay. Depending on who you are or how you like to do this, you could do this many ways. I'm just going to show you the way that I like to do it. So I'm going to lay that down right down the center, okay, and then I'm going to take this up here, loop around under my hand and around, okay, and then I'm going to tie it right there on the top. As long as I don't lose it. Do the same with the next one. Now this isn't going to be a super tight truss. I just kind of want to keep this pork roast all together, make it nice and even so that it cooks nice and even. This is a pretty simple one. I'll try and do one more down here at the bottom. Like I said, this way it all kind of cooks even. Okay, that's pretty simple, right? I'm going to cut my string there. Go and turn this towards you. We'll tie it off. Tie it off. Okay. Now sometimes I like to sear this pork roast first. I think I'm going to skip that this time, but nice and even. Now I am going to move over to the sink. I'm going to season here in the sink because I'm actually going to use a lot of seasoning. Make sure my hands are dry before I handle this salt. Okay, and we're going to go pretty heavy. Okay, nice and high. Nice and heavy. We almost want to create a crust with our salt. Okay, I'm going to turn it over. Now you could do this in a sheet pan. That way you don't lose all that salt. I'm not terribly concerned right now. All right, so that's nice and heavy on the salt. I also have some barbecue rub I'm gonna get on here too. sure all the sides are done. All right. Now, have some paprika just for color. Turn this over. Get the other side too. All right. Now, before I put it into the pan, I have some of my garlic confit. Okay, it's just roasted garlic. Great flavor. Just gonna kind of rub this over the top. Try to get all these surfaces. At least if I touch it a little bit with it before it sticks, it still gets a lot of that great flavor. Right? Okay. Just gonna go right in that well. Try to leave some of that garlic confit on top. Okay, so this is going to go in our oven at 375 about an hour and a half, and after an hour and a half I'll give it a check. About 2 hours in the oven. Our pork roast was in there, our potatoes and our Anaheim peppers are all done. These peppers and potatoes have been just marinating in all these pork juices, so I'm sure these are going to be absolutely delicious. I'm going to go ahead and get this pork sliced and get it on a plate. Take some of this truss off carefully. Yeah. This is easily one of the simpler meals we've gone and talked about. Just want you guys to know, just cook whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. So I'm just gonna get a nice couple of slices off of this. See how it's nice and glistening in there? That's the importance of tying it up, right? Look at that. Still juices coming out of it. I didn't brine it. I didn't salt it earlier. I just tied it up, cooked it nice and low. Okay. And these are just some really easy flavors to go off of. Some barbecue seasoning, some salt, and some paprika. Some of these peppers and onions on here. And this right here is probably one of my go-to meals. It's simple. It's easy. Okay. Looks great. Goes well with some hot sauce. Maybe some tortillas. Who knows? So, hope you guys enjoy.